All right, so this is the sheet. There's a lot to talk about here. So you can even face this way. My hands might be a little bit cold, just letting you know. I want to start going down the sheet here. So we're going to locate the following structures. The medial border of the scapula is going to be right here, also known as the vertebral border. Inferior angle is this point at the bottom. And the superior angle is this point at the top right here. And the axillary border is going to be near the axillary right there, okay? So for protraction, we know this is present if the shoulders are shifted anteriorly, which there's no protraction present. You can relax. No protraction present. One muscle that protracts the scapula is going to be the serratus anterior. And we'll get to that later. The one that retracts it is going to be the rhomboids, which are going to be deep to the middle traps here. Winging of the scapula, you know it's present if the medial border is lifted from the ribs, which, as you can see, is present on both of these here scapulas, which is awesome. That means that the serratus anterior is a little bit weaker, and we could work on more of a protraction. Let's see, anterior tilting, we would know if the shoulder shifts into extension, and this causes the pec minor to pull down on the scapulas. That'd be anterior tilting, which is not present here. Thoracic kyphosis, how does this impact the glenohumeral joint? This would, if you could round your shoulders for me, this would be a thoracic kyphosis. And you can turn the side also, it'd be a little better angle. And what this does is it anteriorly shifts forward the AC joint as well as the glenohumeral joint, which inhibits motion of the GH joint by the greater trochanter being blocked by the AC joint right here. So it basically just limits how far you can reach up. That scapular glide as well is stopped due to that, since it all works in synchronicity together. Assessing scapulohumeral rhythm. You can turn back this way, I'm gonna palpate real quick. Palpate the scapula's inferior angle through the whole motion of shoulder abduction. Okay, so this is the inferior angle here. And if you just lift your arm up into shoulder abduction, you can see how the scapula moved from my position of my hand outwards. And scapulohumeral rhythm is a 2-to-1 ratio of GH joint to scapular joint. So about 30 degrees, it's all GH joint. And then once you get past that point, you can start seeing how the scapula begins to glide with it. And so for every 2 degrees of this GH joint, we get 1 degree of motion in the scapula, which is very interesting. Let's see, name the force couple that produces upward rotation. So the force couple that's going to cause this is going to be the serratus anterior is pulling out, the upper traps are pulling up, and the middle traps are pulling in. And then for the downward rotation, we're going to have the levator scapula pulling down, the pec minor, the levator scapula pulling up, the pec minor pulling down, and the rhomboids are going to be pulling the shoulder blade in this angle as it rotates. And some compensation strategies that may be useful or that may be used if scapulohumeral rhythm is abnormal. They can go in that protracted state again. People are most likely going to either laterally tilt to compensate or shrug in that direction if they have limited range of motion in the scapula. All right. For the scapular upward rotation, I stand corrected. The upper trap is pulling up and the serratus anterior is pulling outward. However, the lower trap is pulling down.